Well, hello. Happy Saturday. Siamani Williams, aka Urban Bush Sister here. It's coming back to wrap up Tweenlet. Again, trigger warning deals with childhood sexual abuse and mental illness. All right. Daddy wanted me to stop flirting and to adjust my attitude. I had become more sullen and snappy. At this juncture, things were either very interesting or terribly boring. I developed a new attitude and practiced not being bothered. To show that I didn't care about anything outside of my universe, I got really good at rolling my eyes and popping my gum. Both were things that worked adults' nerves a great deal and that I executed with enthusiasm. I worked my gum cracks to the beat of whatever was playing on the radio soul station. It was an art, if you will, a way to detract from my flat chest that refused to bud and overactive acne that my daddy refused to treat with dermatology, suggesting instead that I significantly reduce my chocolate and potato chip intake. In addition, I got really good at giving the grim look. With that look, I didn't have to smile so much, meaning my severely bucked teeth got less visibility. I felt awkward in my skin, not unlike others in my age group. Things would fall into place at some point, but I had no way of knowing that, and in the meantime, I felt like an ugly duckling. Adding to my woes, my grandmother and great aunt sequestered me in the kitchen and administered the age old lecture on keeping my dress down and legs closed. I knew that I, as the oldest, had to help my mother, who was now divorced from daddy, didn't I? And I always make sure to set a good example for my younger sister. Nary a drop of surreal hypocrisy was lost on me in this exchange, where I listened and they talked. As a child of Black parents and Southern Baptist paternal grandparents, I still knew well past better than to roll an eye at either of the matriarchs who stood in full judgment of my behavior while denying the cause. Yes, my grandmother had lost her husband of forever, but the man was still a pervert and had a son from another relationship. I just couldn't fake the funk. I didn't feel what my family felt for him. Was I being a horrible and sensitive brat? Yes. Was I justified? Hell yes. And that concludes the reading of Tweenlet, A Journey to Reclaim My Value. And again, the story was written for anyone who has gone through childhood sexual abuse or feels like they are on their way because of the way they are being approached by an individual. I want them to know that they have a voice. I want them to find somebody to talk to that they can trust. Because a lot of times when children talk about the abuse, they are shut down. Sometimes, this is not my situation. My situation was totally different because my grandfather lived so far away. And I didn't have to see him all the time, and I was believed. But a lot of times, young people are not believed. If mom is in a relationship and she, has not learned to love herself enough, so she will put that man or that woman that she's involved with over her child or children. He wouldn't do that to you. You stop lying. Why would you make something up like that? And oftentimes, children are placed in foster care because a parent custodial parent will choose to relinquish their rights to their child to keep this relationship with this man or woman. And it just burns me up to think how, how that baby must feel, and what a selfish act by a parent at any time. So again, I want them to find someone to talk to that they trust, and keep telling somebody until they are believed, because their life is worth it. This has been a lifelong healing journey for me. One, to figure out um, the mental illness that existed on both sides of my family, and on my paternal side. As read in the book, um, my dad lived with bipolar disorder, and his father, I don't know what my grandfather's diagnosis was. I really don't, other than pedophile, but it had to stem from something, and somewhere. And I've not been able to get any answers from family, because I write, and because I tell my truth. Um, they don't want. They share very, very little with me at this point. And it is what it is, because the elders in the family are just about out. I turned 56 on Monday, so when I say this has been a lifelong healing journey, I mean that. And nobody has to fall into every hole that I fell into to figure out my stuff, um, because there are so many resources out here. So the earlier that a person gets into some type of counseling and healing therapy to start that journey, the better off they will be. And that I believe that. And so those for those reasons, trying to understand my family dynamics, pushed me. I was already going to go into communications, but this writing thing that I'd been doing since I was a child. I won my first writing award in fifth grade, and I don't know, for a lot of years, a lot of things were buried. Like I just had put them somewhere, tucked them deep inside. And with the healing work, and getting into counseling as an adult, things got better. So if people are not comfortable with going one-on-one with someone, there are support groups where you go, you step into the group, you take a seat, and you can just sit and listen. You don't have to disclose until you're comfortable. Um, and so you are able to pace yourself. At one point, I was doing group counseling and individual counseling in the same week. Um, I had things to work through, because of my unwillingness to deal with it. I was using unhealthy coping skills. So I was drinking, and I do, in honesty and my transparency, I identify as an alcoholic, although I haven't had a drink in 16 years, and a sex addict. I've been married 3 times, and I'm in my 10th year of celibacy. And so for me, cutting all that out, taking time to focus on my healing, my growth, and my purpose have brought me to where I am today. So that is it. I see that one person was watching. I don't know if they're still there, but thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. Thank you, and y'all have a safe and relaxing rest of the weekend.